All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are actually live. I am doing this for every single team in the NBA as we lead up to training camp, which starts in less than a month. So today we're doing the Detroit Pistons, and I used to live just outside of Detroit in Northville. So I am definitely a Detroit Pistons supporter, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video slash stream. Hit that like button, hit that sub button if you guys do. I decided to make it a stream to kind of go, maybe more like if you want to listen to it kind of like as a podcast. I like going to the gym and listening to just kind of full deep overviews on certain teams. So we saw some moves by the Detroit Pistons this summer, right? We saw a phenomenal draft. Number 5, Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey is actually my rookie of the year pick. He is my rookie of the year pick. It was Chet. I will say it was Chet. Chet was my rookie of the year pick, but he is unfortunately out for the entire season. Paolo Banchero, Jabari Smith Jr., Keegan Murray, no disrespect to those cats, but I think Jaden Ivey is a little bit. I honestly just think he's going to win rookie of the year. Now, when we look into the Pistons lineup for this upcoming season, it's not complicated, but you're just a lot deeper than you were last season. If we go back, I think they have last season's depth chart. Killian Hayes, Cade Cunningham. I know Killian didn't really start much, but you kind of had Cade out there a lot, running the point. You had Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, Isaiah Stewart. A lot of new names are on the team as we look at it here. So more specifically, we had the New York Knicks trade, and the Detroit Pistons took on a bunch of veterans as the Knicks were looking to dump salary. And so you got Alec Burks, Kemba Walker, and Nerlens Noel. Now, I don't think that any of these guys are going to be traded, especially Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel. Those are two big names to me because they're on team contracts next season. So the Detroit Pistons will be able to decide what they want to do. Now, Kemba Walker is interesting because, like I said, he was in that trade to dump salary, and a lot of people, myself included, were thinking that he was just going to be cut immediately, bought out immediately. Well, Troy Weaver is a little bit more methodical. He's a little bit smarter than that. He's going to try and leak out any possible value he can get. So my guess is that we might even see Saban Lee get cut. It's very unfortunate, but look at the point guard position, man. You have a bunch of guys who can play point guard. Killian Hayes, still remaining hopeful on Killian Hayes, but he is 100% in my mind coming off of the bench. I want to say what's up to everyone watching this stream right now. Appreciate all 5 of you. I'll give a quick shout out here. Matt 313, Pushka, Nick, Rocket News, and yeah, we got 10 people in here now actually. So hell yeah. So I think you will see Kemba Walker play the backup point guard role because I think Troy is going to try and get anything he possibly can. If you buy him out right now, you still have to eat his like $10 million contract. And when we look at, I don't know if they do this that well. Yeah, they do this well. If we go back to just 2 seasons ago, right here, he's averaging almost 20 points. Oh my God, that was not it. He's averaging almost 20 points per game in Boston. He is averaging 20 points per game in Boston. So a bad year with the New York Knicks, the Knicks were kind of just a dumpster fire in general all of last season. So I do think we'll see Kemba Walker get some run. As far as starting lineup goes, it's a very intriguing question because you got a lot of point guards here. Do you want to see Cade Cunningham play more of the point guard role? Well, me personally, I do. So, my starting lineup off the top of my head might be something of Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey, Sadiq Bey, Marvin Bagley, and then Isaiah Stewart / Nerlens Noel. Probably, I wouldn't even think depending on who you're playing. I think that just might be the starting 5, or at least that's the starting 5 I am looking at. Now, there's a couple of players on this team where this is going to be a big season. Right? This is going to be a big season. I'm looking at, in my starting lineup, 2 guys in specific, Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart. Now, I think Sadiq Bey is looking just fine. This guy dropped 50 points last season, in case anybody forgot. And if we go back and we look at his per-game stats in the past 2 seasons, we see a huge improvement, up from 12 points per game on really efficient three-point shooting at 38%, all the way up to about 16 points a night, and taking more threes. the percentage went down, but you're definitely not leaving Sadiq Bey wide open because he is 100% going to make that. Um, a lot of people in my comment section right now are saying, hope we keep Kemba for mentorship. And I fully agree. That was something I was talking about a little bit early on in today's video, uh, I guess, slash stream. This isn't a big year as far as Sadiq Bey, like future with the Detroit Pistons, but this is a third year Sadiq Bey. If you can take that jump, if we could get closer, 18 points per game, if we could get to, dare I say, 20 points per game. I mean, Sadiq Bey, it's not like he just shoots threes. This guy can score, but he'll get you some rebounds. We see 3 assists right there. He can definitely pass the ball. He's a skilled passer. And so he can do a bunch of different things. It's not like he's just a one-dimensional. I guess when I first, last season in his rookie year, I wasn't really covering basketball. I was really only covering Houston Rocket basketball. My first thought of him was that he was really just mainly a three-point shooter. Now, the reason I loop Isaiah Stewart in here is simply because of the draft of Jalen Duren. I think Troy Weaver essentially traded Jeremy Grant for Jalen Duren. That's pretty much what he did, and it was, to me, absolutely genius. I think that was an absolutely genius move. I love beef stew. All right, I will say that. I really love beef stew. I love that he got into that little scruffle with LeBron. I remember sitting in class and seeing that. It wasn't class, but I was sitting in a classroom with my friends just studying. We had the game on the projector, and it was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on, what's going on? But, entering his third year, I'm not saying he's on the hot seat like Sadiq Bey, but, I got a Jalen Duren who's ready to get going, who we're definitely going to see a bunch of. There's just a lot of big men on this team. There's a lot of big men, and there's a lot of guards. So, we'll see Olynyk, we'll see Nerlens Noel. I think they'll probably be more off of the bench. I think Jalen Duren's probably going to come off of the bench as well. Isaiah Stewart's a good basketball player. I just need to see consistency. That's really my only thing with Isaiah Stewart is I just want to see more consistency. Now, Marvin Bagley III, I thought that was a very nice re-sign. I'm actually very happy that they decided to do that. The last Pistons video I made, I was recording it, and I was like, looking at Marvin Bagley's stats. I'm like, well, hold on. This guy's 23 years old. I'm 23 years old. I remember when Marvin Bagley first came into the league like it was yesterday. I'm a big Duke bandwagon basketball fan. If we look at Marvin Bagley, once he got to Detroit, just even consistency-wise, it's more like the Marvin Bagley we saw when he first got into the league with Sacramento. We see it right there, 15 points per game, 7.5 rebounds in his rookie season. This past season, once he got to Detroit, he only started in 8 games, played in 18, 14.5 points per game, a little over 6.5 rebounds per night. Not the craziest defender. I have more potential in Marvin Bagley's offensive game, but I'm definitely long-term interested in the idea of a 23-year-old Marvin Bagley III. Now, your team's ran by Cade Cunningham. And Cade Cunningham is, to me, a generational basketball talent. I don't care that he shot 31% from downtown. I don't even know if people use that against him. I don't care that he averaged 3.66 turnovers per night, because any player, to me, who's going to give you a 17, 6, and 6 in his rookie season is a very talented basketball player, and you're definitely trending in the right direction. So you have your guy. All right, when you're rebuilding, you got to find your guy. That's all you have to do. That makes it sound a lot easier than it is. When you're rebuilding a team, you're reconstructing a team, you got to find your guy. And the Detroit Pistons found their guy last season, and now you are basically just filling out the rest of the roster. And that is why my prediction for the Detroit Pistons for this upcoming season, yes, I do think that the Detroit Pistons will make the playoffs. Now, I think it will be more of a play-in because, 7 to 10, that's a lot of spots. The Eastern Conference is not as crazy deep, maybe, as a lot of people think, but it is still a very talented Eastern Conference, and I don't know if the Pistons are quite there yet. Like I said, if you're the Detroit Pistons and you want a top 6 seed, you need a lot of further development. It's not anything crazy. You just need a lot of development pretty quickly. Guys like Cade Cunningham, if Cade Cunningham next season's going 28-8, if you got Sadiq Bey getting up to 18 points a night, if you got Marvin Bagley putting up 15-7, if you got Beef Stew giving you 10-10, and you still have Alec Burks, 40% three-point shooter. You have Nerlens Noel, who's a great rim protector. You have very solid, low-key bench pieces. Guys like Corey Joseph. That people don't really realize Corey Joseph. I'm interested to see how Corey Joseph and Killian Hayes, how that works out, and throwing Kemba Walker, and I'd even throw in Alec Burks. So you're going to see a lot of different variations. You're going to see a lot of different lineups next season. I have a tough feeling that Killian Hayes, he better be ready to play, and he better come with a jump shot, because if he doesn't come with a jump shot, he might not play too much. I love his ability to pass the basketball, but just 26% from downtown this past season, career 27% downtown shooter. I mean, that is not ideally what you want to see. But guys like Kelly Olynyk, Diallo, these guys are going to help your bench and just overall round out your whole entire roster. I look at guys like Isaiah Livers, who, this is a guy who came out of Michigan and he was injured. So he didn't come out of the season until December. Came in December, and what did he do? Well, he shot 42% from downtown. Only played 19 games. He only started in 5. Kind of a nice number there, 5 starts for Isaiah. 20 minutes a night. I will 100% take 42% from downtown. The Detroit Pistons last season, three-point shooting-wise, were I think they were 27th. I believe the Detroit Pistons finished 27th in three-point shooting this past season. So you definitely, the Alec Burks move was nice. And you also have more guys who can help stretch the floor, especially on the bench. But all things considered, Detroit's looking really good right now. You're looking really good. You have your superstar, and now you have a brand new shooting guard who has, Ja Morant explosiveness in Jaden Ivey. And Jaden Ivey, I think, is going to turn a lot of heads. I mean, coming out of Purdue, Purdue isn't it is Big Ten, but it's not the craziest of basketball schools right now. And so I think Jaden Ivey is a little bit underrated. I think Jaden Ivey is a little bit underrated. So you have Cade Cunningham, your superstar, and now you have really solid young surrounding talent in Sadiq Bey, Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Stewart, Marvin Bagley. Now you got enticing players from this last draft like I know Jalen Duren wasn't drafted too far after Jaden Ivey, but as far as role goes, I think we're going to see a lot more Jaden Ivey than we will Jalen Duren. But still, long term, you're looking at Jalen Duren. I'm still kind of hopeful on Killian Hayes. I do think Saban Lee, unfortunately, ends up getting the boot, but this is a team that can be competitive. And they probably will be competitive in a majority of their games. And it's just going to come down to who's taking that next leap, who's taking that next step. Because if you get guys like any of the guys I mentioned, you get just even small improvements from most of your young cats. I mean, this is going to be a much better team. And even salary cap wise, you are looking very, very, very good. So here we go. I will go ahead. If you guys, there's only one person watching this live. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and drop them down below. I can only see 2 here. We got one from Ty D topic. I feel like we need to keep Kemba for a little while. And then we got 313. I hope we keep Kemba for mentorship. And then John Bradshaw finishes up here with, do you think we are keeping Kemba? I would say 100%. I think we will see him play for sure. Like I was saying, this guy averaged 20 points per game 2 seasons ago. Injuries and the dysfunctionality of the New York Knicks roster this past season, I would say, is the reason. I mean, we saw Kemba have how many straight 30-pointers was it? He had a couple 40s, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't he have like back-to-back 40-pointers? It's just really staying healthy. If I'm Kemba Walker, you just need him to stay healthy. So you're not going to see him out here for 32, 31. You're not going to see him out there for his career average of 33.3 a night. But you are going to see Kemba Walker get some run time because he is definitely going to have some interest. Maybe if the Pistons cut him right now, maybe he won't get signed for a couple more months, but a contender will at some point in time be interested in him, and they will be able, assumingly, if Kemba Walker is healthy, you will be able to go ahead and ship him off for at least something. What's up, Noah B? Nice little question here from John Bradshaw. Do you think Nerlens Noel will have a role? I'm going 100%. Like I was saying with Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel, these are 2 enticing players to, both in their prime, they're 2 enticing players to Troy and the Pistons, I'm assuming, because first off, Nerlens Noel is just he's a consistent, solid basketball player, right? He averages 1.5 blocks per game, 1.27 steals a night. It's a career average 6 rebounds per game. So you're not going to see him for a crazy amount. Like this past year, past 2 seasons, averaging about 23 minutes a night with New York. My guess is we'll probably see something more like OKC Nerlens, where you're looking at about 18 minutes a night, maybe even down to 15. I would say somewhere between 15 to 20 minutes a night for Nerlens Noel is what I would be expecting. And yeah, like Tayo saying, he's going to have a great defensive role. He's just going to be a nice big body to have, to nice suitor with Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren can do a little, he can play power forward, he can play center. He's 6'11, 230. He's got the frame. He's got what you want. Lottery pick, 13th pick in the draft. Essentially a straight up swap for Jeremy Grant. That was just such a nice maneuver from Troy Weaver, in my opinion. Kelly Olynyk as well. If you get a healthy Kelly Olynyk, he was dealing with a lot of health issues last season. We're not going to see Miami Kelly Olynyk 27 minutes a night. We're definitely not going to see Houston Rockets Kelly Olynyk getting 31 minutes a night, guys. If you know I'm a Rockets fan, 19 points, 8.5 rebounds, 39% from downtown. Kelly Olynyk, in his brief tenure with the Houston Rockets, was looking like, hold on, this guy might, Max Kelly Olynyk. I'm just kidding, but only 40 games for Detroit this past season, 19 minutes a night, 7.5 points, 1.5 points per game. Shot percentages were a little bit down than career highs, but just got to stay healthy and the shot will eventually fall. You're not going to leave Kelly Olynyk, a career 36.5% 3-point shooter, wide open from downtown. So Kelly Olynyk, Nerlens Noel, while it is a pretty bundled up, like they just have a lot of big men, right? Marvin Bagley, Isaiah Stewart, Nerlens Noel, Kelly Olynyk, Jalen Duren. I don't know if I would necessarily consider Isaiah Livers as a big man, but maybe for argument purposes. Who has a better young core, Pistons or Rockets? I think it's really close, but I would go ahead and say that I was more impressed by Cade Cunningham's rookie season than I was Jalen Green's rookie season. Not trying to diss on my Houston Rockets, but Jalen took a long time to get things going, and the dysfunctionality of the Rockets' offense was a thing as well. You got to keep in mind, Jalen didn't get it going until the last 2 months of the season, where he was averaging about 24 points a game. And that's the Jalen Green that I want to see for a full season. And I think that's what we'll get next year. But as far as I'm concerned, Cade Cunningham is still a very good, generational talent, despite right, quote unquote, 17.5 points per game, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, a nice steal. So I do think that you have more guys like Tari Eason compared to Sadiq Bey, like Isaiah Stewart compared to Şengün. Long term, it's probably going to be neck and neck, but I think right now I'm going to give the slight overall to the Detroit Pistons, just because it's not like they're ahead in the rebuilding, but their roster to me is just a little bit more rounded out. You have some very nice veterans. I don't know if I'm really classifying Nerlens Noel, Alec Burks, Kelly Olynyk as veterans, but I guess Alec Burks, I guess Kelly Olynyk, I guess they're veterans. But 31 to me isn't that old, but I guess it is a veteran. So that's probably it here. I don't know if I'll do this again. I liked the idea of live streaming it, but I think I need to make these a little bit longer. I might just do a video form, but maybe I will stream them. I'm going to be pumping these out, so I'll probably do another one later today after my daily live NBA show. Check that out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it, especially if you're watching this a little bit later. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I post daily NBA content, and used to live in Detroit, so I do have a nice little kind of quiet biases towards the Detroit Pistons, so I post them quite a bit of time. So appreciate all you guys tuning into the live stream and to the, I guess, the video if you're not watching it live. And maybe I'll have to do the Houston Rockets after this for you, Matt. But peace.